Okay guys, I have reached the Buffalo Exchange outlet in San Antonio. I've got my GoPro, I've got my new fashion accessory, my necklace contraption. It's not the most stylish thing in the world, but I am wearing my Veronica beard tee for good luck. And wish me luck. I am amped up. I really don't want to be disappointed. I usually don't let myself get my hopes up about things in general, but they're up. They're way up there. So crossing my fingers, and I really hope that they don't mind me filming, or that they just don't notice it. That would be good too. Okay, here we go. Okay, here I am putting on my mask. Don't you hate when you get makeup on the inside of your mask? Okay, important to bring your beverage, stay hydrated when you're sourcing, because you're probably going to spend a few hours in a store like this. So you need to make sure that you have a beverage, that you have access to a restroom.
And there's no public restrooms.
So we're gonna stop at H-E-B. Who else knows about H-E-B? I think they're only in Texas. Okay, here is the inside of the Buffalo Exchange outlet. It looks pretty similar at first glance to a regular Buffalo Exchange. They always have the circular racks. So I start off by looking at the sweaters, which, as you can see, are all $5 across the board. So if I don't know the brand necessarily, or it's not that great of a brand, but it looks like it might be made of natural fibers, I always check the care tag. I'm always on the lookout for natural fabrics such as cotton, silk, linen, merino wool, Pima cotton, things like that. If you follow sites such as or Instagrams like Slow Fashion, something, or Noisoft Bazaar, which is fashion spelled backwards. Okay, here is a Massimo Dutti sweater. So it looks pretty plain. So I'm checking the tag. It's acrylic is the first fabric. So the acrylic is not really what you want to see. Acrylic to me is only acceptable in vintage. So I put it back. It wasn't too crowded, so that's good. It seems to be a pretty well kept secret. They don't really advertise. A lot of Forever 21, of course, but we are used to that by now. And this was a From Me to We sweater, which I've never sold before, but I know maternity, when you're pregnant, you need clothes. So when you have something that's in a need category instead of just a want category, that's always helpful for selling. That was just too basic. There's no way that I'd be able to get much of a return for something like that, even on $5. I really like to profit at least $50 an item for my time. Also, a lot of boutique brands that I came across. So this, I noticed that it said Spirit Jersey, and there are Disney spirit jerseys. They're not the brand spirit jersey like this is, but they're Disney, but they're called a spirit jersey. And I once bought one for $8 at Goodwill and sold it for $80 the next day. So spirit jerseys are big, but that just wasn't the same thing. H&M, black sweater, no big deal. Keep going. Bonobos. Again, for me to pick something up that's a basic like this, just the pros and cons for me are just not there unless it's a really good brand to kind of carry such a basic sweater. And I wasn't sure if Bonobos was that or not. Honestly, I've never sold it before. So here I'm going to check comps. So I look up Bonobos. I describe the sweater with keywords, pink cotton sweater, I think. I take off my size and I put in all sizes to get the most possible comps. I go from available to solds because I'm not really seeing anything that's similar to what I had, and then the solds were just around $20, so absolutely not worth my time on that at all. I'm not here to profit $10 on something that I'm gonna have to steam and photograph and inventory and ship. Okay, wool. And it's a brand called Reed Krakoff. Never heard of it before, but the thing was it was made of natural fabrics. So I wanted to look it up just in case it was one of those sustainable fashion brands that are really sought after. And it looks like, so you see a comp for the same sweater for $35 right there. And so I pick it up again to see, okay, do I have an emotional connection to this? Do I like it enough personally to put it in my closet, a wool and at the end of the day, it's just too plain. And I do think about it, but I just don't like it enough. And here, this sweater I do end up picking up, which is funny because it has no fabric tag, but you can tell it's vintage. And I just really liked it. It might not be coming across on camera, but it's flecked all over with like these blues and oranges, and then on a cream background. And it has kind of a bishop sleeve. So here's kind of the opposite. Really the only thing that checked out there was that I did have an emotional connection to this. I just really, really liked it a lot. I'm checking again for a fabric tag because I'm thinking, how can you not even have one? Not even one that used to be there, but it got cut out or something. It just doesn't have one. So I'm looking at it again for flaws. And then I'm probably thinking, if I decide not to sell this or I put it in my closet and it's not doing great, I can wear it because I do like it. So you can see I really think hard about this. I'm very selective at this point. If you've watched my other videos, you know I really strive for the mid-tier luxury. I don't buy things at the bins and put them straight in my closet to make a $10, $20, even $30 sale for then, a $15 profit. It's just, I prefer to have a smaller closet with higher end things. And of course, me not being super familiar with Burberry, I saw that check pattern and I had to check the brand, of course, but I really doubt a Burberry trench is going to make it all the way to the outlet. And yeah, get out of here, Bradley. Trying to pretend you're Burberry. So, and then but I still look that up. You never know. And it wasn't even a brand on Poshmark, so I just stopped right there. And I fast forwarded through this part because I didn't find any good jackets. Here's a Superdown. I've heard great things about this brand, but I've never found a piece that was worth picking up based on comps. So, since I only have one thing in my cart, I'm thinking Superdown, okay. Let's put this in my bag, but then I look it up and there's one sold for $20. So I then remove it from my bag. But you'll see in the haul video next week that I do end up getting Superdown. Now this was a brand called Item Planner. And it looked like it was made of some kind of linen blend, so I'm checking it out, and then I go to check comps, and of course, what do I get when I put an item planner is a bunch of planners, because that's not a brand that autofills in Poshmark. And I just can't find it at all, so I abandoned that. Yeah, in the first quarter or first third of my sourcing trip here, I was feeling kind of let down. I really hadn't found much to write home about at all. And like I said, my hopes were up. Oop, almost dropped it. So that's objectively cool, right? So I look it up because vintage band stuff can do amazing. Or what I think happened with this jacket is that it was not vintage, it was modern and just had Leonard Skinner on it. There was one particular brand that had Leonard Skinner on it that was doing well, but it Trunk Limited, but this wasn't that. So I look at solds. And I'm not seeing it. So I pass on that as well. And unless it's some kind of Revolve brand or like a Neen Bing type of graphic jacket or tee, then it doesn't really fit in the closet that I've curated anyway, so I wasn't really upset about that one. Checking out a leather jacket. Kind of boring. No brand. I'm sorry that you can't really see these great. This is my first time using this camera and the mount that's on my neck, so I'll get better at that, I promise. So this is Club Monaco, a brand that I know about but have not sourced yet because I think it's just one of those brands that unless you have, a big expensive kind of jacket or a really new style, maybe with tags, that it's just probably not going to be worth picking up. Or maybe at one point in the past decade it was, but I think just a tweed jacket at this point is not going to give you much. I mean, that one was a sold comp for 70, but it wasn't the same sweater, and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. So that plays a big part in my decision making. And here is when I found this amazing information. Green tags were half off, purple tags were $1. Yes, that is some outlet stuff right there. I take a pause at this Lulu's. I've had great success with Lulu's in the past, but it has to be more of a statement piece than this. It has to usually be a maxi. There has to be something else going on besides this just kind of, I don't know, I want to say bandana mini dress. Not enough going on, and it wasn't one of the green or purple tags, so that was actually a pretty easy decision. And the only reason I considered it for that long was because I hadn't had much luck yet. Here's a new with tag. Was this J. Crew or Banana Republic? Not much difference, right? That's right. Okay, Banana Republic. I did end up picking this up. I didn't even look up comps because it was in great condition, new with tags, and I thought it was really, really cute. A one shoulder blue dress that you could wear to an event. Something that's new with tags really goes a long way for me because I just love the feeling of superiority you have when your item is new with tags, so you can command that higher price. It's a great feeling. This Alice and Olivia kind of glittery black mini, I do have this. I put it in my bag and I carry it throughout the store, but I ultimately decide against it. My idea in the first place was to send it into the Real. There's no way that I could get a good enough return on this that I'd be happy with. I think in Poshmark, it's just too plain and it's not new with tag and it's probably a little outdated, I'm thinking. So I ended up putting it back. Here is a Jack, which is by BB Dakota. I want to say that's an Urban Outfitters brand. I could be wrong. So it's new with tags. I would normally never pause at this, but all dresses, unless they were on sale, the dresses were $8 across the board. So I thought this was cute. And it was a jumpsuit, but it was like a wrap jumpsuit. So I thought that was really cool. Like, it did speak to me. But if something speaks to me, there's really only one thing that can prevent me from getting it, especially new with tags. And you'll see in just a second what that reason is, and that is oversaturation. Look at all of those. My listing would not stand a chance in all of those. So, yeah, that wasn't even a question. That goes back on the rack. Here's Eloquii. If you don't know about Eloquii, it is a plus size brand. I would say it's definitely not luxury or even mid-tier luxury. I'd say it's kind of on the same level as maybe Topshop. But it's a plus size brand, so one thing that will prevent me from getting something from a plus size brand like this is that it's a smaller size, like a smaller plus size, like a 14 or, a 16, because I don't know, for me, if I'm still kind of in, I think the highest conventional size is either 12 or 14. So if I'm right at that barrier, I feel like I'm not really exclusively looking for plus size brands yet. You know, I want to see this in like a 22 or a, you know, for the people who have been that size for a while and kind of almost exclusively shop in the plus size brands. So I think this was one of the smaller sizes, and kind of like that J. Crew jumpsuit, it was kind of basic. I like the flashier eloquy stuff. I sold some silver sequin pants once for $80. So stuff like that. Again, it's kind of one of those things where, is this a need thing or a want thing? If someone has an event that they need something flashy for, and they find some sequin pants in their size, especially when they might be plus size and they don't have nearly as many options as conventional sized persons. So I just couldn't really see someone paying up for that. And I think what I'm doing here is that since I didn't see a huge presence of this particular dress on Poshmark, available or sold, I'm just going to the internet to see if maybe it was picked up by any of the online outlets like Net-a-Porter or Revolve, because that means a lot too. If you have something and you're looking up comps online and you see that a bunch of other sites are also carrying it, that means that they liked it enough to carry it and that other people probably will too. But that just barely had any presence anywhere, so that was a no. Here's a plus size Lulu dress, but it was just a mini, kind of way too basic. Here is something that I did pick up. I had never heard of this brand before. It was called LPA, just 3 letters. And I just thought it was cool. Animal print is still very in, and it was kind of this heavyweight knit sweater dress. I could tell it was quality. I could tell it wasn't just Old Navy or something. So here I go. I'm going to check comps. And when I check comps, I do see that it was sold on Revolve. You can kind of tell once you've been doing this for long enough, these companies use the same models over and over. So if you see one of those models, when you look up a comp, you know that it was picked up by Net-a-Porter or ModeSense or Shopbop or Revolve, which carries a lot of weight and really sways me. And here's a lot of solds, kind of spread across the board, but there were a lot of high sold comps too. And between spring coming up and me just thinking this dress is really cute, I pick it up. And it's plus size. It's a plus size that is a Revolve brand, so yes. Alright, I'm looking at shoes now. I believe I left here with 2 pairs of shoes. The shoes were just, people must really be kind of buying most of the shoes at the regular Buffalo exchanges. There just weren't, nothing I looked up was great. Right now I'm looking up some London Fog boots. I had never seen London Fog anything except for jackets before, so, and I think you just saw a pair of Sam Edelman pumps. I kind of learned my lesson with Sam Edelman that you just can't go too basic or you're barely going to get any profit for that. I was trying to see if those crazy platforms were Dolls Kill, which if you go to the Dolls Kill website, you'll see what kind of audience that has. It has a very big audience, kind of like a rave culture. And what I'm doing here is I'm photographing a Jeffrey Campbell kind of gladiator leather sandal, and I'm putting it into Google Lens. So I photograph it, I go to Google Photos, I press Lens, which is the 3rd icon on the bottom, and I'm trying to find out what the name of the shoe is so that I can go into Poshmark and search the name of this exact shoe. And there are definitely other There it is right there. But it's still not giving me the exact name. There's other Jeffrey Campbell Gladiators that are doing very well, but it's not the ones that I'm seeing here. So I don't think I found a name. I think I'm still just having to type in gladiator tan leather sandals, so. And then I'm checking Google Lens again, because I'm thinking, really? These aren't anywhere? I can't find the name of these. So, that one was a bust. And I have a pair of really cool Jeffrey Campbell patent leather black chunky heeled boots that are so cool. And they've been getting a lot of attention in my closet for a couple months now, but they still haven't sold. So I'm pretty wary of Jeffrey Campbell. I don't regret picking up the boots that I have at all, but they're just taking too long for me to really consider that brand like a bolo or to get excited about it when I see it.
Okay, y'all, so just spent about 5 hours in the Buffalo Exchange outlet. I got 22 items for a total of $146, which is about $6.50 per item. I do think that I got my hopes up a little too much, but I give it like a 7 out of 10. I definitely was very selective, but the prices were great. So I also got a lot of new with tag things. So some surprises on both ends there. I'm gonna go eat because I'm starving, but looking forward to showing you guys what I got. Bye!
So I hope you guys enjoyed, or at least learned something about the Buffalo Exchange outlet. If you're like me, you didn't know it existed before seeing this. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday for the haul. I'm going to show you what I got, and it's actually much better than what's reflected in this video because I spent about 4 or 5 hours in the store. So love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.